Well, it's Tuesday, and we're in a silly mood. This is what we want to show you guys. Oh. Breathe. Breathe. There's an app for that. Why is there an app for breathing? I thought that you just breathe. No, you have to download the app.
Okay.
We're a pathetic society.
Oh,
this
man.
is what we wanted to talk about. Now, we've been doing geese, galloping gooses, a gaggle of geese for the last 3 weeks because we've got goose 2, 5, and 7 of the 7 geese that were actually made. But before there were geese, there was a baby goose. There was a duck.
A duck.
There was the ugly duckling on the Rio Grande Southern from 1912, I believe, or 13.
Oh, wow.
Right
So
in
rare.
there. Could have come out at Christmas, then you don't know. Anyway, I think 1913. It was built out of a Model T.
Really?
Yeah, and the Model T came out in 1909. So they may have just gone down to the Ford dealer and bought a brand new one. This is it. It's the Accucraft brass model of that little Model T. And it is, as you would say,
Stinking
cute. Arr. Oh my, okay. Let's see if we can do this without breaking
Yeah,
the
don't
poor
break
thing.
it. Oh, there it is. Oh,
There it is.
Look at that.
Now, I have to confess that normally with these geese, I have not run them. This one, by contrast, I've run kind of extensively.
Wow.
It suffers from a problem that it doesn't have a lot of electrical pickup. It's only got one powered axle, and you certainly wouldn't want to try pulling a boxcar with it. But I don't think the Rio Grande Southern ever tried pulling anything with it. It'll pull 3 passengers. I don't know if they used it for rail inspection, but my suspicion is, given that it's got a little fringe and roll down curtains, that they just used it when they needed to haul a particular person a particular place. And the railroad was rather young and new at that time. And can you imagine going over the Rio Grande Southern as a passenger on this thing on a nice, lovely July afternoon?
Yeah, can you imagine? Oof.
Holy cow, going across those big trestles and everything.
Especially, yeah.
But they just built it out of a brass Model T. This radiator is chrome, it's nickel. It should have been brass because in that era the radiators were brass. We know this because we've got one.
Yes, we do.
It's kind of a wall decoration, but it's off of an early T. The 4-seater, and because of the configuration of this, they may have just built it out of a Roadster to save money. The Roadster sold for, it was either $350 or $450. I forget which. So not a lot of money. Even adjusting that for inflation, we're talking under $5,000.
No, not bad at all.
To buy a brand new car and then take it over to the shops and chop away the body and throw the body away, keep the hood and a few things, cobble together the floorboards and seats and everything, and you're off to the races.
Well, that's neat.
So that's what the Rio Grande Southern did, and it's RGS number 1, and it precedes the geese. And but there's not anything particularly special. A lot of railroads built these little inspection cars, and one of the most famous ones was right here in our backyard, Albert Despaine's Jitney.
Oh, wow.
And they ran up, I get Little and Big Cottonwood Canyons, Little Cottonwood Canyon, which is the Big Canyon. It's backwards or something.
Iceland and Greenland,
yeah. But the Big Canyon, which is Little Cottonwood Canyon, had a 3-foot gauge railroad up it. And to get the mail up there, Albert Despain, who was the Alta mailman, since the road was impassable most of the time, he built something that looked almost exactly like
Well, that's just cool.
just to haul the mail up there. And then the odd passenger and so on. Isn't that fun?
The odd passenger.
Well, some of those passengers back then were pretty odd.
Kind of odd.
Yeah. We would know.
Yes.
We would know. We're experts on the subject of odd people.
Yes.
At any rate, there it is. Now, one of the interesting things, because of course it's a rail car, you would take the steering wheel out because it serves no purpose. But the entire steering column is still there, as is the quadrant. And it's like, why in the world did they do that? Well, if you know how to drive those early Model Ts, they did not run the way modern cars do.
No.
No, the little handle to the left over here is the Spark Advance. There was no automatic timing on the car, so as you were driving along, you were always timing the ignition with your left hand. And then the right was the throttle. So you were doing this. Now, you're supposed to have a third hand for steering, or maybe a third and a fourth hand for steering.
That's what your fingers are for.
Kind of,
yeah.
It's kind of a thing when you're driving these early Model Ts, because it's throttle, spark, and steering all with your hands, and your feet aren't all that busy.
Sounds like playing the guitar.
And then there's 3 pedals. They did not model it with the 3 pedals, but the pedal all the way to the left is the transmission. And so if you push that pedal all the way to the floor, you're in low gear. You're on the low down. You're in low gear. If you let it halfway up, you're in neutral. And if you let it all the way up, you're in high gear. There's only 2 gears, low and high. Something struck her as funny, and I'm not quite sure what it is. Do you want to share?
No, because I was going to sneeze.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, you were choking back a sneeze. It happens.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so low, neutral, high. There's a handle right next to that, which actuates the rear brakes. And you can see that they brought the rear brakes up on this thing so that it can actually, but you can't stop with those. It's once you're stopped, it's like a parking brake. It serves no decent function. So you can pull that handle, and as you pull it back, it automatically pulls the pedal down, puts you in neutral, and then engages the rear brakes.
Oh.
Just like I say, don't try to stop with it, because it's metal brake shoes. It'll weld shut, and it's a bad thing. Which is what you use the pedal all the way to the right is the actual brake pedal. And it doesn't work on the wheels. It works inside the transmission. It just stops the drive line. And so that's how you would stop this guy. You'd push the pedal all the way to the right down, and that engages a belt around the drive line. That's going to slow you down and stop you, provided you take your other foot and press the left pedal halfway down, and that'll put you in neutral.
Just remember all of that.
Just remember all of that. Oh, should you want to back up, that's the middle pedal. So with your left foot, you go halfway down till you feel yourself in neutral, and then with your other foot, you push the center pedal all the way down, and that puts you in reverse. Whew. And now you're backing up.
There you go.
Now, one of the interesting things, if you need to panic stop, you're going forward, you're at full out top speed, 25, 30 miles an hour. And you're flying down the tracks, and you just want to stop the thing suddenly because there's a boulder in the middle of the track. You just stomp on all 3 pedals.
Wow.
And the weird thing is, because it's a planetary transmission that works on belts, you're putting yourself in reverse, applying the brake, and low gear all at the same time. So you've downshifted, and you've gone into reverse, and you've applied the brake. So a panic stop is stomp on all 3 pedals, and then if you want to add interest to that account, grab the handle and pull back on that, and that'll engage the brake shoes.
And you go drifting.
So this is a very simple thing to drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like driver's ed all over again.
And especially on the Rio Grande Southern, because there's nothing scary or dangerous about that.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Anyway, I love this little thing. My brother got it for me for like Christmas or something, because he was a Model T fanatic.
Yes.
And I was a Model T fanatic. One of my first cars, it was probably actually my 3rd car, 1927 Model T pickup truck.
Nice.
Oh, that thing was fun.
I'll bet.
Anyway, this is a much earlier. This is the brass T, although they've modeled the radiator in the wrong configuration. Should be brass, not nickel. Because it's a much earlier vehicle from 1913.
Wow.
Cool. Anyway, there it is. And the little guy runs reasonably well. It suffers from the problem of all these little short wheelbase vehicles that by the time you get power to the wheels, it isn't touching a whole lot of rail, and so if you run over something like a dead rail, insulated frog, or anything like that, it's going to come to an immediate halt. It'd really be fun to try to figure out some way to put command control.
Yeah.
But the whole hood, the entire hood section here is the motor, and then the gearbox that runs the motor is the transmission here, and then the rear end is actually the rear end. So you'd put the command control where?
Under the back seat.
Little trailer back here that you tow. Well, actually, under the front seat, they've modeled the gas tank. That's where the fuel tank was on this guy. So maybe...
Well, somebody left their luggage under the back seat.
You
so
could
that's
probably
out.
fit an encoder and a speaker out of an iPhone or something in there.
Something
So
like
maybe
that.
where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, if people can put it in N scale, they can certainly, put it up in the top and, I don't know,
Lift the bonnet.
just put a false top in there and sandwich it in between them.
You
That
could
might
do
be a
that.
way.
That might be a way to do
way.
it, yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's
It
right.
could be done. Anything can be done. Well, if you haven't been over to the channel, pop on over to the channel because there's more geese and all kinds of things over there. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And here comes the blue button that'll make you a subscriber. You ready? Zoink! Right there, the blue button. We're not sure how you found this video on the internet, and we hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you here on Sunday because we're building the railroad out
yeah.
there. See you
We'll
then.
see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.